welcome to Punky's World. You asked for it, so I'm going to deliver. We got another fridge video. Who wants to fix a thermoelectric fridge? Not me, but I'll do it. Why? Because I got this thing for free, and I think we can turn this into a hefty profit. Let me show you how to do it. Let's get started. You know the drill. Let's open the back up on this bitch and see what caps are dead or what the hell is going on with it. For reference, this is a Haier HVTEC 18DABS wine cooler. I don't hear any ticking, but I hear chirping. Nothing's coming on in the front at all. Dead in the water, but we got chirping. Let's open the back up. It's so typical that you get chirping noises when you got a bad board. You can get replacement boards for these, but they're so expensive and there's no need to do that. Just replace a few capacitors on it. Let's get screwing. Into the drug bag they go. Throw these inside. This is an FX101 board. We got 10.5 volts. You can see up there, that's the voltage of it. Same with the bottom board right here, 10.5 volts. It's always gonna be the C8 capacitor on these boards. 9 times out of 10, it's the C8 capacitor. We're gonna probably upgrade that capacitor with maybe a little higher voltage tolerance one, and we're gonna check the other caps just to be on the safe side. I'm gonna take a Sharpie just so I can label which ones are which so I don't confuse them. We'll clean the fans up on it. We should have this thing running in no time. We'll call this white one right here blue for Bluey. This one, other one right here is black. So we'll just we'll color code it with the terminal that's on it. We'll just do this one black like this. Perfect. Take out this guy right here. This part is for the control board. Let's pull this board and we'll get it on the bench. I've done so many of these. I can do this with my eyes closed. All right, that board's out. Just gonna label it top, why not? We'll do the same thing down here. The board is out, nice. Let's get it on the bench after we put our screws in the bag. Okay, it's the same typical bullshit with this guy. It's always gonna be the C8 cap. I just know it. There might be other bad caps, but we're gonna test it. Right here, between the two LEDs, it says C8. These always pop on every single one of these FX101 boards. This is an FX101B board. If you're gonna be lazy, just buy another board and throw it in there. You know, that'll cost you like 45, 50 bucks or whatever to put a board in there when you can replace a simple capacitor that costs like almost nothing. Make sure you don't screw up the voltage on what the board is, because if you put a 12.5 volt board into a 10.5 style fridge, it may not operate correctly and you may have problems. It usually is labeled. All right, let's get to this prick right now. The C8 is right between the two LEDs, so we're gonna look on the back of the board. This is our first cap we're gonna test. Whoa, what do you know? 101.2 ohms. That is a bad cap with a high ESR. That's our one right there. Like I said, every single time this happens. Good cap.
I'm using a green Sharpie to mark the good capacitors and a brown Sharpie to mark the bad capacitors.
Good cap. Good cap. Good cap. With low ESR. Nice. I already tested these two. These are good. Good cap. Good cap. Oh, we got another bad cap. Look at that. Interesting. We got a secondary bad cap right there. Look at that. Okay, this one I'm not getting any reading at all on, so we're gonna call this a bad cap too. So 3 bad caps. Wow, this is surprising actually, because don't usually have that many bad caps in these. Good cap on that one. Good cap. Oh, we got another bad cap, it looks like. We're a little riddled with some bad caps on this. Usually it's just the one, typically, but you know, things change. Let's check this one here. It's a good cap. All right, and we'll check these other big ones too, just because we're here. I'm sure they're fine, but you know, whatever. Good cap, good. Check this last one here, good. Okay, all right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 dead caps on this thing. Now we gotta desolder and change them out. Let's get to it. I have them labeled on which ones are bad and which ones are good. We've already gone through this board. Now we're just gonna, off camera, I'm just gonna go and nail this board out real quick, so not to bore you with it. And we'll see if we have comparable amount of bad caps, or maybe there's no bad caps. Either way, that C8 cap right here is gonna get replaced, because every one of these boards, this cap fails. And just like that, we're back, and this board actually tested perfect on all levels. so I don't have to worry about any capacitors being bad on this one. On principle, I'm still going to replace that C8 cap, which I marked in brown, just because that's always the fail point on these boards. Every time I've worked on them, this one actually had a little more, few more caps than I anticipated, but that's fine. But it's on other boards, it's always that first cap to go, and maybe when that cap took a shit on this board, maybe it caused a rupture and it blew other caps. I don't know, but we're gonna get to it. So let's desolder and put in some new caps. On this board here, I made black marks showing where all the different caps are that I need to take out. It just makes it easier for me to unsolder them and get them out of this prick. So I'm gonna start with the C8s. I'm gonna do this one, and since I already pulled the capacitor out of my kit, I'm gonna just solder the C8s in there first, then we'll work on the other caps. Here we go. Got it out, popping the other one in. Spread their legs. Yeah, get it, girl. Oh, perfect. Let's pull this other one out while we're in 932 degrees, so we don't have to wait for it to cool down at all. Okay, pulling it out of the board. Out skis. And for all these, the ones for the C8, they originally were 4725 volts, but I'm putting 4750 volts in there. I think the 25 volt ones are a little under voltage. So I'm going to like 650 degrees. I'm just gonna clean the tip off a little bit here. Nice and shiny. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, now we're gonna get our solder here. Yeah. Got my solder and I got spirit. Let's go. Nice, okay. Let's do the other one. Switching boards. Perfect. And we got my multimeter here. We're just gonna make sure that we're not shorting out anywhere. Good, that one was going to that path. Good, we got good connection. Okay, good, that one's good. All right, so this is the top. We still got more caps to pull on it. This board is finished, but let's cut the hairs off of it and make sure we don't have any shorts before we put this board aside. Good, that one's good. Let's move on and finish taking out the rest of these caps, yo. $4.750. I got some of those. This one is a 47 microfarad 25 volt. Okay, spreading the legs. Next, we got this one right here, and then we should be done. We can start soldering them in. Oh yeah, baby. This one is a 47 microfarad 25 volt. Another one of those. Okay, sliding it in. Perfect. Spreading the legs on it. Now we can bring our temperature down on our gun. Go to like 630. I wish this video was a little more entertaining, but I'm literally just like replacing capacitors on it. There's really no thought process to it other than you gotta test them and then you know. But it's so great just being able to get these fridges for next to nothing and then flip them for a profit. And I could do this with my eyes closed. I hate to sound cocky on it, but I've done so many of these boards. It's like whenever one is posted, or even if somebody wants 20 bucks for it or something, if you know that's like the most I'll pay for them, I'll flip them and definitely make my money back. And they're just so easy to deal with out of all the different circuit board shit that I do. Like that's like, oh, I already know. Here we go. Let's solder them back in. I'm at 637 on the iron. Let's get her going. Good. Pull the hairs up on it. It's not a garden, woman. Don't let it grow. Hunky, why are you so gross all the time? I don't know. Trim, 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 trim. We're gonna check it with the meter. Make sure we don't have any shorts anywhere. Always do that, just in case. Now, I'm not gonna clean anything yet. I wanna first test it and see that they work okay. And then we'll start with the cleaning process, and then we'll really bench test this thing to make sure it gets down to temperature.
I only ended up putting 2 screws for each board because I wanted to make sure that the system was going to work.
Okay, the boards are in there. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Hey, we got a working fridge. Look at that. Top one's doing its job. The bottom one's doing its job. Just like that, a few capacitors. this is a good thing. So I think the next step right now is what we'll do is we're gonna let it run for a few hours. We're gonna see what the temperature it gets to. Hopefully it gets down to the appropriate temperatures. If it does, great. Then we'll just clean everything up here and we can get this bitch for sale. If it doesn't, well then we might have to go a little further down the rabbit hole, maybe putting some new thermal paste on the back of the pelters, which is gonna be a little more involved. We'll see what happens. All right, it's currently the next day, but as you can see, we are down to 54 degrees on the top side and the bottom side is at 46 degrees. So this unit runs like a champ, which is great. We're gonna start cleaning her up and hopefully we'll have a buyer in no time.
I used the vacuum in the blow and suck position so I could blow out the whole back of the heatsink. And I also used a combination of some electronic parts cleaner to clean out the fans and make it sexy.
So as you can see, we are all nice and clean. Our fan spins freely. The board is cleaned. I use this contact cleaner solution right here for the circuit board as well as the fan. It won't hurt it. It doesn't leave residue. You spray it on the back of the fans too to clean it all out. It came out really nice. There's no more dust bunnies. Now we're going to attack this lower one right here. And as you can see, a lot of disgusting stuff. So let's get to it.
Although the video is sped up, I spent a great deal of time making sure that the heat sinks and the fans were really, really clean, and the boards, because God knows when they will ever be serviced again. It's really important to clean the fans and making sure that there's no dust bunnies, as well as the heat sinks, because if you let the dust build up, it's not going to be efficient and it won't cool as well. I don't dare let these units leave my shop until they're clean to like new condition.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to report that I have a buyer on the line right now. They're gonna come and pick up this beautiful unit. This unit sold for $150. Cha-ching! Not bad from a free unit and just replacing a few capacitors. This is a really nice unit, by the way. I think this is like the flagship of the Hayer brand when it comes to the thermoelectric wine refrigerators. Everything is working and functioning as it should. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this episode of Punky's World. I never know what I'm going to work on next, so I'm glad that you could come along. And if you've made it this long through the journey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see what I have in store for you next week. Thank you so much. Cheers, everybody. I'm going to go have some wine. Oh, I didn't put any in. Damn it. Cheers.